In this video, I'm going to tell you about my water fasting experience. I water fasted for 5 days. I'm going to tell you how to water fast, why I did it, and I'm going to walk you through each day and what happened, and then I'm going to go through how to come off the water fast so you don't gain all the weight back. So just as a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional by any means, and all I know about the water fasting is because I did it and I watched a crap ton of YouTube videos and I read about it, so I recommend that you do the same if you're planning on doing water fasting, because it can be dangerous if you do it stupidly and it can actually kill you. So please bear that in mind. Before we carry on, I just want to make sure that you hit this subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one or the red one that is down below this image, so you can stay updated with the videos that we're doing. And let's begin with our subject. So basically, I did a 5-day water fasting, and the reason why I did it is because I'm a very open-minded person, and before I actually say my opinion about something, I want to try it for myself. And I saw a lot of videos where people were claiming that it was super healthy to do, you don't feel hungry when you're doing the water fasting, and that you will experience increased levels of energy and awareness. And these things were all just too good to be true, so I decided to do one and actually see for myself. So what is water fasting? Water fasting is when you actually don't eat anything and you only drink water, not even juices, just pure regular good old water, and you don't eat anything. And normally you can do water fasting for a day, you can do for 3 days, you can do for 10, and there is some people who do it for 30 or even 60 days. There's even one guy who has done it for over 365 days, and he lost like 160 pounds or something, and it's pretty crazy, and he survived and he's completely healthy. So what is the health benefits of water fasting and why does it work? Basically, when you're not eating anything, if you have bad bacteria in your stomach or you have a bad case of candida, these bacteria die because they don't get any food. And once you start eating again, then you will have a complete, like, your bacteria will change in your stomach. You basically got rid of the bad bacteria and you have new good bacteria. The same goes for worms and parasites. Actually, a very high percentage of the modern Western population has parasites and worms. I know it's pretty gross and it's pretty shocking, and most probably you who's watching it, most probably you also have parasites. And basically, when these don't get food, they just die, and then you just poop them out when you go to the toilet. There's lots of other health benefits also that I recommend that you read after this. As I said, I'm not a medical professional, I'm just a very practical guy. Then obviously the biggest benefit is that you lose a lot of weight. This is what I have found, that in the 1800s it was actually quite common that people fasted and they lost a lot of weight. Obviously, to have this work, because many people say that, yeah, but you immediately regain the weight once you lose it. Yeah, if you fast for a day, for sure. But if you do a fast for 10 days and then you actually change your diet when you come back from the fasting, there's very little chance that you're going to get back the weight that you dropped in those 10 days. I have myself about lost 10 pounds or 5 kilos. And I have only gained back about 2 pounds or 1 kilo. And I actually changed my diet completely. I'm on a ketogenic diet now. So I am actually on a lower, or at the same place, which was my lowest point on the diet. So what happens to your body during this water fasting? So obviously your body doesn't get any food in it. So it actually has to start processing the fat that you have on your body. And after about 3 or 4 days of doing the water fasting, your body goes into a state which is called ketosis. And this actually means that instead of your body using glucose, which is basically sugars, to make energy, it goes on to using ketones, which actually comes from fat, to provide your body and brain with energy. So in essence, what your body does is that it starts breaking down the fat that it has, and it starts breaking that into energy, and that's what the body uses to basically to keep you alive. And the reason why this is not dangerous is because actually in the old days it was quite normal for our bodies to be on water fasting. It just wasn't called water fasting. You basically, millions of years ago, we were hunters, and then you killed a deer and then you ate the deer, and then it took 3 or 4 days before you killed another deer or you had something else to eat. So until that time your body had to maintain itself, and your body is perfectly capable of doing it. So that's why it actually is not very surprising that your body, one, can do it, and two, it's even healthy for the body to do it sometimes. Now I'm going to tell you what happened to me day by day. On the first day, I actually thought that I would be extremely hungry and it would be very, very hard for me to do the diet. But I wasn't as hungry as I thought I would be. Many people actually say that if you start eating a little, then you're going to actually go into starvation mode, and that's horrible and extremely hard. But as long as you don't eat anything, then you have this like I could eat feeling, but it's not like this mad hunger that you have to have food. It was actually, for me, many people complain that it's very hard for them to fall asleep on the first day on the empty stomach. I didn't have any problem with it. The next day I was kind of hungry. It wasn't like starvation hungry, but I did have my attention on food. But I still had a lot of energy, and it wasn't as bad as I thought that it would be. Now day 3, it was actually easier than day 1, and I actually really started to get this mindset, and I was always drinking a lot of water. And it, like, the day just went by, and it was actually quite good. I really started to go into this fasting mode. Now on day 4, actually I started to go into ketosis, and I actually started feeling that I had this like sudden surge of energy, and I really lost my hunger. Like, it's really hard to explain, but I had this feeling that if I had to eat food, like I could, but I, like, even when my family was eating, I was in close contact with food, and it was just like I didn't really have any hunger at all, any urge to eat. And on day 5 in the morning, I had like a feeling like this inside happiness, and like my brain really was like super aware, and I had this like very high energy, and it was almost like a feeling when you're high on something. And that was the point. I think my body really switched into ketosis, and it was a fantastic feeling. Unfortunately, later that day I had a period when I really had like a crash, and I was very like lack of energy and like almost falling asleep. And when I told my wife and my very close friends and co-workers that I'm doing this diet, everyone thought I was an idiot. Everyone said that this must be a lie, what I saw in these YouTube videos. And the only promise that I made was that if it gets too crazy and it starts affecting work, then I would immediately stop. So on day 5, I actually had this point that I felt that it happened to be on a Sunday, and I felt that if I have the same on Monday, then I'm not fully able to do my work. So I actually just started drinking juice at that point. And it's actually very important, if you have been doing this diet for a longer period of time, then you cannot just go back to eating. Like, your stomach will not be able to handle it. I mean, 5 days is not a whole lot of days, but the more days you're on this diet, the more important it is that you take like 1 or 2 days of only eating juice, and then you take a day after when you're eating like easier food like mashed potatoes, and yogurts, and it's also important that you take probacteria so that your bacteria in the stomach, because you essentially kill your own digestion, so that this good bacteria has an easy time to come back, and then the next day you can go back to eating normal food. So I was basically drinking juice on the 5th day in the evening, and then on the 6th day I started with nuts, and like I actually started eating like fatty food, because I was thinking like, what the heck, I'm anyways in ketosis and my body is burning fat, so I'll just eat fatty food, and then the body is anyways able to do this. And I actually happened to not gain back the weight, and this I'm very, very happy about. And I actually started with the ketogenic diet the week after the fast, and I'm also going to be making videos about that. So I'm pretty happy. Actually, I experienced all the points that they said. I did lose weight, I felt healthier, I did feel this upsurge of energy and going into ketosis, and having this very clear mind. So it was very interesting. So I actually recommend for everyone to try to see for themselves, and I really hope that this video helped you if you were in doubt about doing it. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the diet, or if you're planning to do a water fasting or not. And make sure that you subscribe, and thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.